Hello children, in this video we are going to see about types of soil, properties of soil, soil and crops. In the last video we have seen about soil profile, isn't it? So today let us learn briefly about types of soil. There are different types of soil. On the basis of soil particles, it is classified as sandy soil, clay soil and loamy soil. Okay, so based on the presence of soil particles, soil can be classified into three types. What are they, children? Sandy soil, clay soil, loamy soil. First one is sandy soil. So now let us learn how it is formed and what are the characteristics of sandy soil. So here you can see in the picture the sandy soil. So how it is formed? It is formed by disintegration and weathering of rocks. What is meant by disintegration, children? Breaking into pieces. Okay, so weathering means breakdown of rock particles into pieces. Yes, so disintegration and weathering of rock form sandy soil such as limestone, granite, quartz and shale. So these rocks, when there is a weathering of these rocks such as limestone, granite, quartz and shale, it result in the formation of sandy soil. Okay, so sandy soil is formed by disintegration and weathering of rocks such as limestone, granite, quartz and shale. This sandy soil contains 70 to 80 percentage of large sand particles. So it contains 70 to 80 percentage of large sand particles, and it contains very small amount of slit and clay particles. Okay, so it contains a large soil particles, very small amount of silt and clay particles. So, due to the large space between the soil particles, the soil has poor water retention. So, what is meant by water retention? That means water storing capacity will be less due to the large space in the soil particles. And these sandy soils are well aerated. That means the air can be trapped inside the soil particles well. Okay, so sandy soil is formed by the disintegration and weathering of rocks such as limestone, granite, quartz and shale. It contains 70 to 80 percentage of sand particles and very small amount of silt and clay particles. Due to the large space between the soil particles, it has very poor water retention and well aerated. And next characteristics of the sandy soil is it lacks humus. So humus is absent. So humus means it is the organic substance is formed due to the dead and decayed matter. Yes. So which is useful for the growth of plants. So in the sandy soil, humus is absent and is not very fertile. So as the humus is absent, the soil is not fertile. It's not suitable to grow crops due to poor humus content and poor water holding capacity. So I have told already in previous point, though it has a very poor water retention capacity, that is poor water holding capacity, and they lack humus, yes, so that it's not suitable to grow crops in sandy soil. So crops such as cacti, watermelon can grow well in the soil because they do not require much amount of humus or water. So these this type cacti and watermelon crops can grow well in this sandy soil. Now next type of soil is clay soil. So clay soil, here you can see in the picture clay soil. So it is formed by disintegration and weathering of rocks for a long time. Okay, so how it is formed? Due to the disintegration and weathering of rocks for long time. So as it is formed after long time, it can be also formed as sedimentary deposits. So sediments, so deposits of the sediments also formed. So it can be also formed as sedimentary deposits due to weathering. So weathering means, you know, breakdown of rocks. Then erosion means removal of top layer of the soil. Yes. So in the particular place, if there is the removal of top layer of soil, that is called erosion. And when there is a transportation of rocks, also sedimentary deposits will occur. Okay. So due to the formation of sedimentary deposits, this can be formed clay soil. Okay, so clay soil is also formed a sedimentary deposit due to weathering, erosion and transportation of rocks. So this soil contains mainly clay. You know, name itself, you can understand that clay soil is. So it mainly contains clay and small amount of sand and silt. And the particles, soil particles are very small. It leaves very little space, so that air cannot enter in the soil. Okay, so the sandy soil, we have seen that it has a low soil particles, so air can be aerated well. Yes, so it can be aerated well, but here you see the particles are very small, and it leaves only very little space for the air in the soil. Not only that, it has high water retention capacity. Okay, but it has a high water holding capacity, and this clay soil is sticky when wet. Okay, so when it become wet, it will be sticky and turns hard on drying. So when it is drying, it turns hard. So here I done the typing error. D should come. Okay, children. So it has high water holding capacity and is sticky when wet. It turns hard while drying. It also contains some amount of humus in it. So it contains small amount of humus. Some plants like wheat and paddy grow well in this clay soil. Okay, so plants like wheat and paddy can grow well in the clay soil. So this is about clay soil. Now let's move to the loamy soil. So loamy soil is considered to be the perfect soil. Here you can see the picture of loamy soil. So loamy soil is considered as a perfect soil. Its main characteristics are it contains equal amount of sand, clay and silt. Okay, so it contains equal amount of sand, equal amount of clay and equal amount of silt. Okay, so it is called as perfect soil. It is rich in humus. So you can see the color itself, you can understand that it is rich in humus. Okay, so it is rich in humus content, and the color is dark brown in color, and it has an adequate air space, so that it can hold the water. Okay, so it has an adequate air space and it contains sufficient water also. It is best soil for growing plants. Okay, so this loamy soil is suitable for the growth of plants. Okay, so we can select the loamy soil for growing plants. Okay, so loamy soil is a perfect soil. It contains equal amount of sand, clay and silt, rich in humus, and it is dark brown in color, and it has sufficient water and adequate air space, and it is best soil for growing plants. So this is about types of soil. Okay, so sandy soil, clay soil and loamy soil. Now let us see about the properties of soil. So soil property mainly depend on the size of its particles. So we can see now the properties of soil. First one is soil contains air. Air is present between the soil particle. As I have already told, that properties of soil mainly depends on the presence of soil particles. Yes? So soil contains air. So air is present between the soil particles. Soil contains moisture. Water present in the soil evaporates as water vapor. Yes, so due to the sunlight, water vapor will be evaporate when the water, so water is present in the soil will evaporate as the water vapor. When the sunlight passes through it, it causes the air to shimmer, so that we can say that soil contains moisture. Shimmer means shine. Now soil allow water to percolate. So percolate means what? To pass in into the, it allow the water to pass into it. That is percolation. So water poured over soil. Some water get absorbed by the soil, rest passes down through it. Okay, because it contains the soil particles. So when we are pouring the water, some water will be absorbed by the soil and the remaining water will be passes down through it. So the process of passing down of water into the soil is called percolation of water. So what is meant by percolation of water? Process of passing down of water into the soil. So some water get absorbed by the soil and the rest of the water will be passes down into the soil. So the process of passing down of water into the soil is called percolation of water. The percolation rate of water in soil is equal to volume of water is defined as the volume of water in milliliter which passes down the soil per minute. So in 1 minute, how much amount of water is passed down the soil? That is called percolation rate of water. Okay, so percolation rate of water in soil is defined as the volume of water in milliliter which passes down the soil per minute. So the volume of water which passes down the soil per minute is considered as a percolation rate of water in soil. Now we can see the formula for calculating percolation rate. What I have told, percolation rate is equal to amount of water in milliliter divided by percolation time. Okay, so time in minutes. Okay, so now here you can see the example. If 200 ml of water, so 200 ml of water is percolated through the soil sample in 40 minutes, calculate the rate of percolation. We should calculate the rate of percolation. So how we will calculate the rate of percolation? Using this formula. What is the formula for the percolation rate? Amount of water divided by percolation time. So here they have given in the question 200 ml of water is percolated through the soil. So the amount of water percolated through the soil is how much? 200. Okay, so the amount of water percolated through the soil is 200 and how much time? Within 40 minutes. Okay, so time is percolation time is 40 minutes. So what you should do according to the formula, percolation rate is equal to amount of water divided by percolation time. So amount of water is 200 divided by time is 40 minutes. So when we are dividing 200 by 40, you will get 5. Okay, so 5 ml per minute you have to write. So the rate of percolation is 5 ml per minute. Understood, children? So this is the way how we have to calculate the percolation rate in the soil. Now The rate of percolation of water, it will differs from soil to soil. So we know there is three types of soil. The rate of percolation will be differs from soil to soil. It depends based on the size of soil particles. Okay, the amount of water that seeps down in the soil, it decreased in towns and cities because of too many concrete structures. So nowadays you can see in cities and towns there is many concrete structures. Because of that, the amount of water which is seeps into the soil is decreasing. So it is due to this reason, because of the decrease in the rate of percolation of water, the water table has also go down in some areas. Now next property of soil is soil absorbs water. So soil absorbs water. So soil can absorb water as it has spaces between its particles. Okay, so soil can absorb water because it has spaces between its particles. Next one is about soil and crops. So we have studied now the properties of soil. What are they? Soil contains air, soil contains moisture, soil allows water to percolate, soil absorbs water. Yes. Now let's move to soil and crops. Soil helps plants to grow. A large number of crops are grown to fulfill the various needs of humans. So different crops require different types of soil to grow, isn't it? So we know that crops are grown to fulfill the needs of human. If crops is not there, we will not get food. Yes. So different crops require different types of soil to grow. For example, you can see here lentils and gram, they can grow well in the loamy soil. So you know loamy soil is a perfect soil which is rich in humus. So this soil only the lentils and gram can grow well. Then wheat and paddy grow well in clayey soil. So clayey soil, you know, it has a rich good water retaining capacity. So the wheat and paddy can grow well in the clayey soil. Then cotton, it can grow well in the sandy or loamy soil. So cotton can grow well in sandy or loamy soil. So soil vary in color, texture and its particles in different geographical locations. So in every region we can observe there is a difference in the soil color, size and the soil particles. As now let's see about soil erosion. So what is meant by soil erosion? Carrying away of soil. So carrying away of the top fertile layer of soil. So you know all soil contains the first layer, that is called fertile layer. So in some places, due to agents like wind and water, there will be a carrying away of the top fertile soil due to what? By the agents like wind or water. So due to the action of wind or water, in some places there will be a carrying away of the top fertile layer of soil, which is called the soil erosion. So this soil erosion occurs faster on barren land where there is a little or no vegetation. Okay, so this will occur faster on barren land where there is little or no vegetation. Example is deserts. In desert it will occur because there is a heavy wind, so that the top layer, fertile layer, will be carried away from one place to another. Factors responsible for soil erosion are deforestation. So what is meant by deforestation? Cutting of trees in large numbers. Okay, deforestation means what, children? causes soil erosion. Now forest fire means it burns the plant cover. So here you can see in the picture, so due to the action of wind and water, it burns the plant cover. Then next reason is overgrazing. Overgrazing means grazing of animals on the same piece of land year after year. So in the same place, if the animals are grazing, it result in the soil erosion. Now ways to prevent soil erosion. So how we can reduce the soil erosion? By forestation. So forestation means we should plant trees in large number. By that we can prevent soil erosion. Next, construction of dams. We have to construct dams which is used to control floods. Then terrace farming. Terrace farming, it is used in the hilly areas to minimize the soil erosion. So here you can see this is called terrace farming. So terrace farming is used to minimize the soil erosion in the hilly areas. Then by building bunds around field and embankments around river banks. Here you can see in the picture the embankments around the river banks. So by building bunds around fields and embankments around the river banks, we can reduce the soil erosion. So the ways to prevent soil erosion are forestation, that means planting trees, then constructing dams, then terrace farming, then by building bunds around field and embankments around river banks. I hope you have understand about the types of soil, properties of soil and crops. If you have any doubt, you can ask children. Thank you.